Yeah, he
It's
gets
fucking
it.
awesome. Yeah. So, and this principle of nonviolence is what brought him back from the brink of madness, where he was clear,
Yep.
which is
Yes.
basically kill, kill, kill. And then I was watching that episode with Eastman. They say it's about redirecting, evading, and actually caring about the welfare of your opponent. So you have to care about yourself. You have to believe your life is precious, that all life is precious. I just thought it was interesting to think of it in terms of you got to love yourself first. Because when Morgan was a killer, he kept wanting himself to be killed too.
Yes.
Whenever he
Kill
was down
me.
on the ground. Yeah, kill me, because he hated himself. And
Right.
Carol's like that right now. She hates herself.
Yes.
She's saying something's wrong with me. So I think Rick is somewhere in there too, maybe, you know, and I, like I say, I feel like there's going to be some kind of reckoning with him. But one other aspect of all of this is the fan reaction. Morgan is a fan favorite. He's had these really poignant episodes of loss and tragedy with his wife and his son, and going nuts and being a broken man, and he's a fan favorite. Then he comes back transformed, pretty much the only character in the whole series who really has a strong moral code of not killing, except maybe Glenn. And then people start souring on him. and I hate that. And then with Carol too, she's just a killing machine, take no prisoners. And then when she starts to finally feel like, oh my God, the weight of what she's done, and start having some compassion, then people are like, what's wrong with Carol? And I'm just like, oh man, I don't know if this show is teaching people you got to kill or be killed and don't trust anybody, then I'm a little bit sad about that.
Yeah. And you know, you can have it both ways, right? Like
Yes.
these are deep characters. I mean, you don't have to, if somebody takes one attitude, they don't have to be polar opposites all the time, right? Like kill everybody or kill nobody.
Right.
And you know, it's most interesting when they're investigating the middle ground, probably, to see who goes where and who does what. So
it is. But it was interesting. This season was very polar. Like Rick was really on one extreme and Morgan was very much on the other.
Yep.
And Carol was somewhere in the middle of that, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But I think what they did with Morgan and allowing him to kill that guy who was about to kill Carol was probably the most telling of it all, right? It's Morgan was way over on one side, but clearly there is something that he will kill a person for, and it's his friends.
Yeah.
So
right. And that guy, let's face it, that guy was going to die anyway. I mean, he was wounded and he was torturing Carol just so that we didn't feel too shocked that Morgan killed him. He was slowly shooting Carol.
Right.
And he promised her he was going to make it hurt and be 10 times worse for what she did, blah, blah, blah.
I guess they did go out of their way to make him pretty bad.
Yeah. They did.
Pretty unlikable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. But still, Morgan is the one who killed him, and that says most about Morgan. So I kind of thought Carol might actually die in that scene when I first watched it, right? Like I wasn't so sure, because if Morgan had let her die, that's a whole other thing they could explore with Morgan, right? He has to then come to terms with the fact that his attitude caused the death of someone close to him, or
yes.
You know. I'm glad they didn't do that.
Yeah.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that.
Nope.
No.
All right.
Jason.
We're back to
number
me.
one.
All right. So my number one was Dr. Denise. I really like Merritt Weaver. I've liked her in everything I've ever seen her in, all the way back to Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip. I don't know if you remember that. That was a short-lived Aaron Sorkin thing post West Wing, which the West Wing is my favorite television show of all time. She was just a small character on that, and then I watched the entire run of Nurse Jackie, which she was brilliant on. And when I heard that she was coming on this show and I first saw her, I was so excited about Dr. Denise. And I really like her character. She has meaning and substance. She's flawed, but she genuinely wanted to help people. Like, she knows that she has to step up to be the doctor, even though she had panic attacks and couldn't continue on her goal of being a surgeon. And her and Tara's relationship, absolutely. We've mentioned this before. It's my favorite relationship in the whole show. And her death was tragic and brilliant all at the same time. Just mid-speech when she was trying to help Daryl and Rosita, she's in the middle of explaining why she wanted them to be on this trip with her, and just this crossbow bolt sprouts out of her eye, and she continues on talking, and then just collapses. And and I did not. I'm sorry that it was spoiled for you, Jason, but I did not know that was coming, and it was complete shock to me. And I was upset at the time. I did not like that she had died, and I'm kind of on one hand, I am upset that she has left the show, but on the other hand, her story arc was tragic and brilliant, and I think I'll miss Merritt Weaver on this show.
Yeah, you must really hate Dwight, eh?
No, it's not a matter. Well, he wasn't Dwight. It wasn't his intent to kill her.
He was aiming for Daryl.
He was aiming for Daryl. So
he's a bad shot.
Do I hate him? Not necessarily. Is it? It's a terrible accident that he did not kill the character that he meant to. Yes, but I don't hate him.
Here's a question: Would you sacrifice Daryl to have Dr. Denise back?
I would.
Me too.
Probably would.
I think so.
I'm considering it a little more than you fine gentlemen, but I think I agree with you ultimately.
Hey.
Huh. Hey. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Dr. Denise was great. I liked everything they did with the character, and I was bummed out when she was killed too. And I'm with you. I didn't know it was going to happen. I didn't see it coming. And then all of a sudden she's down, and it was a total bummer.
And ultimately she got everything she wanted, right? She became the doctor that she wanted to be. She found a relationship that she was too scared to have previously, and she found her orange soda. So once you obtain everything that you want in a dramatic story, your character arc is complete. So,
but she never got to deliver the orange crush to Tara, did she?
No, but you have to leave it a little bit tragic. Tara also said that said I love you, and Denise said I'll tell you when you get back. I'll say it when you
should have known at that
And it's just like, oh God, when you're looking back on it, all the pieces are there for a tragic, untimely death. But ultimately, I liked her story arc.
By the way, it's also very sad that they took off one of the few LGBT couples on the show.
Yeah.
I think, and that's not good either. I think all we have left are, why am I blanking on their names?
Aaron and Eric.
Thank you. They're so cute
but
together.
We haven't seen Eric
them
very much.
Yeah, is Eric even on the show anymore? Like, Aaron is barely there, and Eric,
I don't think he was there all season, was he?
No, he wasn't. He didn't show his face at all.
Oh, are you sure? I think he was like in the living room in a crowd when they were making a plan.
Yeah.
But that's it. Like, he didn't have a line. I don't
downgrade it to extra. That's gotta hurt.
Seriously.
That guy's awesome. Jordan something Woods Robinson, I think. He's a Blue Man Group dude.
Oh yeah?
Oh really?
Super talented.
Cool.
Okay, next. Who's next?
Chris.
Me, I guess. So it's my number one, and it is, well, it's the last episode and the cliffhanger and everything they did. We have mentioned it. We've talked about it. Everyone knows that Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Negan was amazing, and his introduction was fantastic. The monologue he delivered was really good. The rest of that episode seemed a little off to me at the time, but I've grown to appreciate it. And to be honest with you, I can appreciate it now a little bit more because of doing our podcast and talking to our listeners and just them sort of explaining to me why it was good, or, why they thought it was good. My first thought was sort of, look, we're just traveling around with the group and they just keep hitting roadblocks and kind of the same thing happens. And what was the point of all that? But, Rick he went from totally arrogant about the situation, getting torn down at every roadblock they came to. And I do think that was pretty well done and important for Rick anyway, as they were leading towards that final scene. So overall, that episode was pretty good until the cliffhanger, which I still don't like. It still bothers me a lot. And I think what it comes down to ultimately is that I am still just boggled. My mind is boggled that given the options they had, and I can say that, I don't know what goes on in the writer's room and stuff like that, but I can think of other outcomes for this final episode. Given the options that they might have had, things they could have done here, they still chose to do this cliffhanger. And to me, it feels like the wrong choice. And it's kind of strong to say that, I guess, but it's just the way it feels. It feels like the wrong choice. Now, I don't know what's going to happen in season 7. Maybe everything will pay off amazingly. Maybe they have a plan that is just going to blow all our minds totally. And, when we look at the whole thing as a whole, someday it will completely make sense. But it feels to me right now that The Walking Dead had a chance to do something truly historical, almost. Like, I'm sort of feels like overstating it a little bit, but I feel like they could have made TV history here, or create a moment that kind of would be talked about in a positive light for years to come. Like, everyone still talks about the Red Wedding. People know what it means when you say JR got shot on Dallas. People just know that. Those are fictional moments in TV that have entered the popular culture. And I think The Walking Dead had their chance for this and they blew it. So that really kind of bums me out.
That's really powerful what you're saying, and I think you're probably right. I guess I would say we won't know for sure whether they've blown it until we see the season 7 premiere. But if somebody just gets their head bashed in, then yeah, they blew it.
I have a question. Now I asked Jason if they did a time jump for episode 1 of season 7, would you be mad? And if they didn't return to that exact moment, would you be mad? And Jason said yes, he would be mad. How about you guys?
I don't know if I would be mad. Like, your point about we don't really know yet is totally valid, because we don't know what's going to happen. But I also think, well, Karen, to answer your question, I feel like I probably would be angry about it if they time jumped. But I also think no matter what they do in the first episode of season 7, they've got to show us that moment, whether it's the first thing we see when the episode starts, or they go in the future and then flash back to it or something like that.
I think it's going to be right off the bat. And I think if they do a time jump, that would be the worst thing. Yeah, that would be the worst thing they could do. That would just make it like all the much worse. Oh my God. Are you serious?
I don't want to. If it's any of those characters, I don't want to see them get bashed. I mean, all joking aside, I don't want to see anybody I love, and I really, have a little bit of, fictional affection for all of them, and I don't want to see any of them get hurt. It pains me to think of that kind of death too, because that's a very violent death. That's worse than getting bit by a zombie, in my opinion. It's incredibly violent in front of all these people who also love you. I can't think of a worse death. I just can't think of a worse death.
No, I agree with you. It's an extremely violent way to be killed off. And if it just comes back and they just show it to us and it is what it is, I feel like that's going to almost be a disappointment too. You
should have just shown it in the
they should have just shown it in season 6. But you build up to something like this, then you make us wait and don't pay off everything they've built up just to do it a little bit later. It's going to feel all wrong. Like, it's going to feel like they didn't do it for any storytelling reason. It's just going to feel like they're doing it to delay gratification to everybody.
That's what cliffhangers are about. I mean, I think there's a feeling in any cliffhanger where, like, oh man, I really want to know what happens next, and now I have to wait. So you can't, in my opinion, in and of itself, say that feeling should never happen. I mean, once you're binge watching this, you're not going to have that. People in the future are not going to have that feeling anyway. So I would say if the cliffhanger, that I would not judge it just based on that. For me, it's more, what would have been a more powerful scene. And it feels like truncating it takes away. It's like you're giving a speech and you're coming to the climax of your speech and you're like, come back next week and you can hear the climax of the speech I'm giving right now.
Yeah, which is different than a cliffhanger where people are in peril. Like the season 4 cliffhanger where they're, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was season 4, where they're at the terminus and they're in the shipping container and Rick says, they're screwing with the wrong people. Mm-hmm. That to me was one of my favorite season finales.
Yes.
That was an amazing one.
That is a fantastic cliffhanger. And, one of our listeners wrote in and argued that this season 6 doesn't even qualify as a cliffhanger because you know what happens. It's just they aren't showing you what happns. So our listener called it a lie, not a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Right? At the end of when they were at Terminus, you don't know how they're going to get out of there. They're in a bad situation and you don't know what's going to happen. That's a great cliffhanger. Here, they keep telling us what's going to happen and then they don't show us. So it felt way, way worse. The other thing I just wanted to say is Scott Gimple said a lot of things like, just wait, it'll all pay off. We have a great plan. He said things like season 7, episode 1 is amazing. And,
Norman
these are all
Reedus says the premiere's so good that, quote, probably the planet is going to explode.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I read that. I hope the planet doesn't actually explode, but it sounds like it's going to be pretty good. And I know they say these things all the time. This is their job. They have to promote the show and so on. But a little part of me feels like Scott Gimple is really, really good at telling us how amazing things are going to be and then not actually making things amazing.
Yeah. And that was another thing.
This season's had some amazing moments.
It has, but nothing that's been telegraphed and nothing that it's been talked about. I mean, they built up this ending to be a thing.
I know.
And they were telling us, oh my God, the ending is going to be, oh my God, the actors were just going crazy. Really? For that? They were?
I don't even hold that against the actors. I don't even hold that against them. Like it's their job. They have to say these things, and they're never going to be like, well, kind of a bit of a letdown,
So I think that. Lauren Cohan said it was a cliffhanger in an interview, which made me go, oh, that's the only place I've heard that. So then I sort of suspected maybe they won't show it.
Yeah, I heard a rumor too that they weren't going to show it, and so I was tipped off about that. I didn't really know for sure. It was presented to me just as a rumor, and I thought, God, I hope they don't do that. I hope they don't do that, and then they did, and so that was that. But, anyways, I just hope the people running this show don't always think they have a great idea coming up and then not actually ever able to get there, because that's kind of what it felt like to me. So
it based on how they were talking about it, I really seriously wonder if the plan wasn't to go ahead and show it, and maybe they even already filmed it, because I don't believe their stories aren't really straight about who knows and stuff like that. And maybe when the actors were talking about it, they actually thought that we would see,
maybe. I mean, I've heard that nobody was on set like at the end there, but you're right, they could have actually filmed it. I think I said something on our show about how the showrunners and the writers didn't even know who it was yet when they were filming that, which I think turns out to be incorrect. And Jason, you kind of called me out on that too. You sent me a message and said, "Where did you hear that?" And I couldn't come up with a source, so I think I made it up. But that's my bad on my part there. And things I've heard since then from Kirkman and so on, they've been apparently talking about this and how they're going to work up and lead up to it since early on in like season 4 or something like that, when the comics were out. So, anyways, I don't know. The whole thing just wasn't amazing in my opinion. And I guess everyone's right. We have to sort of wait and see and find out, and then make a clear judgment after we've seen the beginning of season 7.
Yeah, just like when you were so pissed off about Glenn that you couldn't enjoy the Morgan episode.
Right. That's right. And now I can.
Okay. Karen, I think it's your turn, right?
Yeah. And okay, so my number one this season was the incomparable, the incredible Carol. We've already really talked about her character, and we've sort of bounced it around, and how she continues to evolve. And it's so interesting to watch. Melissa McBride is a fantastic actress, and she's so interesting. And, you know, from where she was in season 1, from, you know, being a domestic abuse victim to now she's hardcore assassin with a kill count that's well over 20, especially after that, the last warehouse. I mean, her kill count is up there, man. And it's been hard on her, and she really that actress does a beautiful job in showing how hard it is on her and all the pain, and you know, and maybe Morgan can help sort of bring her back, and it's wonderful. The confrontation with the wolves on the road was one of my very favorite scenes in the entire season. It was in the second to the last episode, and you know, I love that she pulls up in this crazy road warrior car with the spears sticking out, and she tells the wolves, you know, it doesn't have to be like this. We don't have to do this. And at first I was like, oh, she's screwed. How is she going to get out of this? But she's Carol and has sewn the machine or the semi-automatic in her sleeve. And it was just very gratifying. And I went back and watched it a number of times. My jaw dropped.
She was like, oh, I'm not going to kill anymore. I have to get out of here. So because if I stay here, then I won't be able to kill, and someone that I love will be harmed. And then she goes off, and like 15 minutes later, she's killed 5 more people.
Right. Exactly. Can't run away from your problems, Carol.
The whole gun up the sleeve thing I thought was a little bit silly when I first watched it, a little hokey. But kind of just talking about the idea of it sounds really awesome. So, you know, it's like a action hero move with a sneaky gun up the sleeve, right? But
it's a little dubious of someone who has just sworn that they will not kill anymore to sew a machine gun into their sleeve.
Yeah.
She's not going to kill anymore, but just in case.
That's just a backup.
But Melissa McBride is great. You know, she's really fun. I met her at the first Walker Stalker Con. I think the first one. Anyways, one of them I went to, and I went up to her and I said hello, and we chatted for a second, and then I asked her if she could give me a little soundbite recorded into my phone, and she gave me this really funny look, like, what the hell would you want that for? But she did it, and I was very appreciative, so she was very cool.
Did you tell her you had a podcast, and that's what it was?
Yeah. No, I did, but she still, at first she was like, really? And then she did it.
She doesn't like, cool. Being recorded. But I loved when, after that same boat, I just remembered that, you know, she'd had to light all those people on fire, and she was just feeling so shitty. And then when Daryl showed up, I think, didn't she just like fall into his arms?
Yeah.
And he's like,
yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah, it
was very good. Very good.
They're buddies.
Okay, my number 1 is my favorite new character, Jesus. Who is also known as Paul Rovia. And I just love, it's like he stepped right out of the comics. And I typically don't like when everyone needs to be a badass, but for some reason I like that he is such a badass, maybe more than just about anybody else. But he doesn't seem so wounded. Like, he almost seems in some ways untouched by this whole thing compared to a lot of other people. He's kind of optimistic and clear-eyed and steady and grounded, but quick and sly, and kind of got a little twinkle in his eye, you know. I just he's kind of a breath of fresh air, and I hope they use him a lot next season, because I want to see what they'll do with that guy.
He's fun to watch.
Totally. Very fun to watch. And a couple things about him is that he's kind of like the anti-Daryl a little bit. Like, Daryl's pretty capable in this zombie apocalypse, just like Jesus. But Daryl comes, and both characters are almost more comfortable, I feel like, here. Daryl came from a really rough background. It almost feels like Jesus comes from like a great, comfortable life. He just happens to be really good at kicking ass and surviving, right? And I think that was cool. And then the other thing is, I liked how he wasn't like the leader of the hilltop, right?
Yeah.
He was just another guy that lived there and did all of their scouting or whatever. But sometimes TV shows, like, you only get to know the really important people or the leaders or whatever, and they meet Jesus and he's out on the road, and then when we go back to the hilltop, he's kind of in the background a little bit, and he's not like the number one guy. And I sort of like that too. So it's going to be fun to see what they do with him, and I do hope he's a big part of the show next season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he will be. I asked Tom Payne who he thought would win in a fight, Morgan versus Jesus, and he said Jesus.
Of course he did.
He said because Jesus has been doing this a lot longer.
Oh, okay. I think I agree with him.
Yeah.
What about Jesus against Michonne?
Michonne.
I didn't ask him that.
I don't know.
So?
I'm just
I hope we don't have to ever see it, though.
I hope not. Michonne has a sword.
I want to see Jesus versus Morgan versus Michonne versus Carl.
Carl.
Yeah.
All right. We are done with our list, and it was awesome. Do you guys have anything else you want to say about the season before we wrap it up?
I don't think so. I think it was a pretty good season, even though I was down on a few of the episodes in the sort of middle sections of the first and second half. I thought both of them started really strong and kind of ended really strong, and sort of in the middle were a little bit slower. But overall, pretty good season.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it
had
was
some high highs and some low lows.
Yeah, this season was a bit uneven. I think we've mentioned that in the past, in this show, but it was a bit uneven. But overall, I think it was well done.
Yeah,
and
totally.
as we know, season 7 is going to be the greatest thing ever. So we all have that to look forward
that
to.
Earth is going to explode.
Oh man,
7 seasons in a movie.
That would be so cool, man. I think they should do a movie.
They should.
I want to see this cast members up on the screen.
Yep.
Totally. I would go for it.
I have some news and a fun little segment with listeners talking about what they would do if they actually saw a zombie. Would you guys want to stick around for that?
I can stick if you want to have us. Otherwise, just boot us off. It's up to you.
Stick with us.
I'd love to. Yeah.
Numbers of citizens.
The people it kills get up and kill.
Are they slow moving, Chief?
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
This is a Walking Deadcast news update.
All right, it's time for the news. So, this movie, Cell, based on the 2006 Stephen King novel. Anybody read that besides me?
Nope.
A Cell? Yeah, I've read it.
Well, I liked it. What'd you think?
I thought it was a bit strange, but you always have to take Stephen King with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
I either really like Stephen King or he gets a bit weird, and sometimes it happens all together in almost the same sentence.
Yeah. I mean, this book starts out where everybody is just going about their day in Boston, I think, and all of a sudden everybody gets a call on their phone at the same time. Everybody who answers their phone just goes nuts and turns into a ravenous cannibal monster.
Ooh.
And it's that quick. And that's just a kind of a different enough take on the whole zombie thing. And then some weird things happen later on where there's like collective consciousness going on. And I thought it was pretty cool. Well, anyway, there's a movie starring John Cusack and Samuel L. Jackson that filmed 2 years ago in Atlanta, Georgia. Actually,
Yikes.
It's finally being released. The distribution company dropped the movie, and then another company picked it up. It was supposed to premiere at this film festival, but it was replaced at the last minute. And now it's scheduled to be released on June 10th through video on demand and then open in limited release on July 8th. So all of that makes me think it probably didn't turn out so good.
No.
Wow.
Like, I think it might be a stinker, which I'm kind of bummed by because I was totally looking forward to this, but we'll see.
And of course it stars Samuel L. Jackson because pretty much every movie does.
Yeah, pretty much every third or fourth movie, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in a lot.
Yeah, so I don't know. And in related news, at a recent Comic-Con, John Cusack, they asked him what TV shows he'd like to guest star in, and he said Better Call Saul or The Walking Dead. Quote, I'm also, like, strangely a secret zombie movie fan. I could show up on The Walking Dead and get killed real quick.
Oh, that's great. Now he's
That'd be
not.
okay.
Now
Yeah.
it's not a secret.
Mm-hmm.
Those are two really good shows too. I mean, he picked some quality TV to potentially guest star on.
He would be the zombie holding the the boombox above his head.
Yeah, Boombox Zombie. Can't wait to see that one.
From the 80s. I forgot whether we mentioned this already, but AMC officially announced Fear the Walking Dead is returning August 21st. So we'll be back to cover that with Melissa and Duncan.
That's cool. You guys do a great job, the three of you, by the way, on
thank you.
on that show.
Yeah, they're really fun to podcast with. In an interview with TV Line, Fear the Walking Dead showrunner Dave Erickson said, if you marked off the days that have passed on air since Fear the Walking Dead debuted, I think right now, by the end of the first half of season 2, we're getting very close to Rick waking up in Georgia. So he just wanted to make clear where the timeline is with that.
Wow.
So that was interesting.
Cool.
Yeah.
Man, so little time has gone by on Fear the Walking Dead, right? Rick was in a coma for what? Like, not even a month, right?
6 weeks.
Six,
Right.
6 weeks?
That's interesting.
I don't think we really know for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if
assume
we know
6
for
weeks.
sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds
well,
about right.
either way, though, like, so little time has gone by on Fear, and
Yeah.
a lot has happened, actually. So,
Right. People are giving them shit for not being able to handle themselves well around the zombies while Rick's been asleep this whole time, not doing nothing.
that's right. They've got the jump on him at this point.
Hey, he's handling the zombies while he's in a coma, so that's pretty good.
Oh,
That's how good he
That's
is.
Shane that did that, though. Shane put the gurney in front of the door and saved his ass
Yeah.
for weeks.
He was a hero,
Right.
Shane,
And then
That's
went
true.
and screwed his wife.
Yeah.
and then tried to kill him.
Bastard.
But otherwise, he was great.
Otherwise, good guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to digress too much, but did you guys watch John Bernthal as the Punisher on Daredevil?
No.
I saw.
Oh my God.
I'm about 4 episodes in, and I don't like Daredevil as much as everyone else. I do like it, but it just feels a bit repetitive to me. But I think John Bernthal's awesome in it.
Yes, I like the show, the Daredevil show, but I thought I thought season 2, the first half of season 2 was especially good, and John Bernthal was amazing as the Punisher. So good.
Yeah, and
I
he's
just wanted to
getting
throw
his
that
own
out there,
Punisher
'cause-
show now.
Oh my God, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
They decided to do a standalone Netflix series with him.
Cool. He was born to play the Punisher, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So good.
And it's almost like Shane's, tougher older brother or something.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit.
Okay, finally, Robert Kirkman had this interview in Rolling Stone. It had some interesting tidbits. Here's a couple. They said, why do you think a zombie show hit such a nerve with mainstream culture? He says, it's the global economic crisis, income inequality, the post 9/11 world. Everyone's scared shitless. It's not the worst time ever to be alive, but it's tough out there. I feel like if you worry every day about the world around you and then you go home and watch a guy get chased by zombies, it's like, well, it could be a lot worse. If I could wave a magic wand and make the world a better place and make Walking Dead less successful, I would have waved it without hesitation. I feel like I'm a misery profiteer sometimes. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Misery profiteer.
They
Good way
say
to
the
put it.
show has become increasingly bleak. How much of it reflects your view of humanity? He says, I try not to be a glass half empty kind of guy, but I do feel like if society were to crumble, we would all be killing each other for resources. It's terrifying what a human will do to survive, Monsters are real and they are us. Once I had kids, I remember thinking, yeah, if that guy tried to kill my kid, I would rip his head off. Though who knows? We all like to think we're Liam Neeson's, but most of us are George Costanzas.
That's
Totally
for sure.
a George Costanza. I absolutely wholeheartedly believe if the zombie apocalypse happened, I probably would last 35, 40 minutes, maybe. And that's only because I would hide in my furnace room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm there too. I don't think I'd last that long with my bad ankle and my sore knees. Like I'm not running very far, so you know.
They say, do you have an end game for Dead in mind? For the books, I do. I know how the story wraps up. The big question is when and how far in the distance that is. But I think that most people think, oh, why would he end it? It's so successful. He's going to keep throwing shit at the wall to keep it going. And that's not going to happen. You'll eventually be able to see that it all kind of comes together, which is cool. I've been hearing him say stuff like that lately. Early on, he wouldn't say anything about the ending, but now he's saying he has an idea in mind, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Do you want the comic to end? Are you looking forward to the end of it?
I think as long as it's good, I'd love to see it keep going. I feel differently about the show. I feel like I would like it if the show said, okay, we're going to do 2 more seasons and end it. But the comic, for some reason, I feel like as long as it's good, I'd like to see it keep going. I'm liking it right now.
Yeah, I'm liking it right now too, actually, more than I did for a while there. I went through a phase where I sort of thought, well, this needs to wrap up because it's just not as compelling as it was. But they're doing stuff now in the comic that I think is much, much better. So I'm sort of back on the, well, keep it going for a while bandwagon. But I agree with you on the show too, 2 or 3 more years and that might be enough.
Yeah.
Didn't he recently slag on George R. R. Martin?
Yes. That's the next thing. They say.
I'm sorry. Is that okay?
That's okay.
Sorry.
That's the last one. They say there's still plenty of story for the TV series to get to. You could tell the writers where you're going. And he says, I would never do that. That's the one thing I'm disappointed in George R. R. Martin for doing. He should have just been like, fuck you. You make it up now. I'll get to mine when I'm ready. Which I don't think that totally slags on him, but it might even be more like a solidarity brother kind of thing. But I would not want to give George R. R. Martin that advice because I want the TV show to be good.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yeah.
that needs his cooperation.
He backed away from that comment though, didn't he?
He did. I heard he had to apologize over it or something, right?
Okay.
Or maybe he didn't have to, but like changed his mind and sort of came out and said, sorry, that was maybe not appropriate.
I mean, I get the feeling this was a really long interview. And then, you know how whenever there's an original interview, 1,000 more articles come out and they just all said, Robert Kirkman disses George R. R. Martin. That was all they took from it. So I think it was sort of an offhanded comment that got blown up.
Yeah, probably was. It's hard to, people love to pick out the one little thing that out of context sounds really bad.
Yeah,
they love that.
All right, that's it for the news. Time for listener moans, groans, and grunts. Okay, I posted on Facebook, on our Facebook page, you see a zombie ambling down the street in your neighborhood. Just one single zombie, and it's the first and only real one you've ever seen in real life. What's the first thing you do? So while I read these answers, you guys can think about what you'd be doing. Here's my favorite. Richard Davenport says, I would take a car, go to Mum's, kill Phil, grab Liz, go to the Winchester, have a nice cold pint, and wait for all of this to blow over.
That's pretty good.
Sorry.
Yeah. Do you have these, Karen?
I do.
Oh, let's go back and forth.
All right. Brian Patrick says, first, I would observe while sending texts with pictures to my group. After determining it was a real zombie, I would grab my machete and go kill it. Poke it a little to make sure it's real.
No, it didn't say go kill it.
And go up to it. Sorry. Poke it a little, make sure it's real. I like that part. Poke it. Yeah. Then call the police. I'm not going to jail for killing a prankster. Smart.
Kristen Hallberg says, is it just us or are there others in the street? Do I have anything with me? Either way, I probably poop my pants.
Sean Naraho Glowacki says, pour myself a stiff drink.
It's a good one.
I like, all these different answers. Robin Springer says, call the fam and put our zombie emergency plan into effect. We really have one, but it's mostly in case of hurricane or lengthy power outage.
That's awesome. Everyone should have a zombie emergency plan. First, how cool to think about. Second, you can use it in other emergencies.
Right. Apply it to power outages and hurricanes.
Werewolves.
Right.
Or werewolves, vampires,
Yeah.
you know.
Mummies.
Mummies.
Aliens.
Judy, right. Jody Gonsalves Schneider says, call my husband and tell him to go get guns and ammo from his police station. Lock windows and doors. Tell my boys to stay put while I pack up food and water. Collect some kill tools and then text everyone I know, exclamation point. Turn on news and wait for my husband. And she followed with little emoticons that are a gun, a knife, and a hammer. Smart.
That one kind of goes with this next one. Heather Dearden says, hit the supermarket, load up. Heather Dearden Costa says, hit the supermarket, load up on supplies, and submit my letter of resignation. There's no way I'm spending the beginning of the end in a cube shuffling papers. I just like how some people thought, oh, a single zombie, that's it, end of the world. I'm quitting my job.
We're done.
That's it.
We're done. Yep, that's it.
Let's go get kill weapons, pack up food.
I like it that that they said that not only is it the end of the world and quit your job, but actually submit a letter of resignation. So that's kind of a combination of it's the end of the world, everything is over, but I still have to, dot all the I's and cross all the T's, and just in case
there's still
rules that you have to follow. So I have to submit my letter of resignation, and then stock up on guns and ammo and food and stuff, and shoot anybody that comes into my yard.
Right. Dear boss, I regret to inform you that I saw a zombie today.
So I won't be in the morning.
Therefore, you know what? Maybe just consider calling in sick for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Let that ride out and just see how
it
it
all
goes.
shakes out. Go to the Winchester.
Everybody's watching the news. You just don't show up. Just stay home.
It's understandable. All right. Some weirdo named Karen said, is it Glenn? Because if it's Glenn, I may just let him bite me.
And then I said, it's Glenn Beck.
Well, even better.
Yes. I don't know if I want to die at the hands of Glenn Beck.
Next.
Only my Glenn. Paula Hopper says, leave it be and hope I can survive for a bit. Let's all be honest here. We want a zombie apocalypse.
Encourage it. Send it someone else's way to spread the infection.
Do we all secretly want a zombie apocalypse?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. I mean, it might solve a few problems in the world, but probably cause a bunch more.
It might be a short-term solution to, a short-term solution to some problems, but maybe cause more chaos than it's really worth. Okay, you're right. Then I'm weighing in with no.
If I could go into some kind of a simulation like the Matrix kind of thing, I would totally do it for a while.
Would you?
Awesome. Yeah. Be cool.
Zombie apocalypse Matrix simulation. That'd be all right.
Yeah. Jamie Gliciano or Jaime Gliciano says, laugh at the people who would bug me about my concealed carry permit as I pump a couple of 45s into its dome while live streaming, of course, and then leave the most epic voicemail on the Walking Dead cast answering machine.
Yay!
Yeah, so if we ever get a voicemail that says, hey, you guys, guess what? I just fucking shot a guy in the head.
That will be from...
Please call the police.
It was a zombie, I swear.
You're right.
At least I think it was.
But there were a lot of variations on that of people who would come to our Facebook page and post pictures, which I thought felt very honored by that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Couple more.
Nancy Wolf says, get a video for YouTube, maybe run home and lock the doors, check for the internet for more information.
But not telling
because that's where all the most all the best information is going to be.
It might be. That's where Tobias figured it all out.
Oh yeah.
William Moore says, grab a weapon and kill it before it infects more people, which is what most people said. They would kill it.
Just kill it, get it over with, and save the world.
Right.
Be a hero. Billy Roach says, let it eat my asshole neighbor, then kill it and my asshole neighbor.
Ian Wright says, run around the house yelling, where's Carl?
That'll help.
Sean Henninger writes, yell to the neighborhood, don't get bit. That's great.
Very good advice.
So that's it. So what would you guys do?
Well, I would slowly close my door back into my house, walk into the kitchen, check the calendar to see if it was Halloween. And if it is Halloween, I would celebrate and go out trick-or-treating. And if it wasn't Halloween, yeah, maybe collapse and cry and decide that the world was over.
Well, maybe there's a zombie fun run happening because they have those all the time.
Oh, they do have those, and you're right. You know what? These days, with the amount of cons and fun runs and all kinds of stuff,
you can't be sure.
So what I'm getting is
see a zombie walk down the street anyway. Anytime.
I'm getting heavy denial, is what you guys are saying.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if I jumped to the conclusion that it was a zombie right off the bat. I think what I would do is make sure that nobody was close enough to be harmed by it, and then kind of figure out a way with the use of other people around me to corral it to make sure that it is a zombie, and then the appropriate authorities would then dispatch it as needed.
You'd corral it. You'd put
I'd somehow, because it might just be an infected, and maybe they have a cure for that, because I have no idea. But
okay, Herschel.
If they have so I would. I don't know about that, but if it's dead, it's dead. That's one thing. But if it's just if it's an undead or if it's an infected, I'd probably try and get it analyzed first before jumping to the conclusion that it needs to be shot in the head.
So you're the guy. Wrong. You're the guy. When I was a kid, there was a skunk hanging around in front of our house, and somebody came out and put a bucket over it to keep it in one place, which is not a good idea. But they did that so that they could call the city, like animal control or whatever, and come and get it and take it away. So you're the guy that would put the bucket over the zombie until someone came and dealt with it.
Well, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to shoot the skunk?
Well,
what's the alternative here?
I don't know.
Yeah, I actually, Jason, I'm on your side. I mean, if you think about, let's say, I walk out into my front yard right now and I see a zombie, and let's just say for argument's sake that I know it's actually a zombie, I'm probably going to call the cops.
Yeah, call the police.
Yeah.
Oh, but then you see the cute little neighborhood kids running down the street playing, and they are oblivious. Now, what do you do?
I'd say I'd call the cops and say the kids are about to get attacked. No, if someone is in immediate danger, you're right. Yeah, yes. I would yell at the kids to get the hell out of there.
Stay back.
I would come at it with something. Yeah, well, I don't know. I have shears.
I have a
hedge
shovel.
trimmer.
I have a shovel in my garage, and I also have like a great rake.
Knives.
One of those metal straight rakes that is for like lifting hay bales and things like that. I think that's my weapon of choice.
Like a pitchfork?
Like a pitchfork.
Oh.
I'm really glad you asked that, because if somebody innocent was in danger, then I would have to go and try to kill it, and I would grab a knife. This is where maybe we actually did learn something from Walking Dead. You just take that knife and strongly shove it right into their buttery head.
It'll just slide right in, with minimal effort.
Right.
If we know anything.
We have learned. Oh, it's taught us so much.
Yes.
All right. That was fun. We have one call. I'm going to play it. Here it is.
Hey, guys. This is Emily from Arizona, and I wanted to congratulate you on being nominated for the Academy of Podcasters Award. On your last podcast, you mentioned that you needed to send in a short clip for a sample, and I have a suggestion for what to send in, so here it is.
I think I did my number 3, or my number 2. I did my number 2.
Okay, your turn, Justin. Do your number 2.
Justin, your turn.
My number 2 was Daniel.
So I thought that would be a great sample. I thought, what a better way to send in a sample than to have it be about number 2. So, love your show, guys. Good luck on the awards.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I thought that was funny. So we got nominated for this Academy of Podcaster Award. I sent in our fat trick clip. I didn't know what to send in, but
all right, that was hilarious.
Sent in. Yeah, so we'll see.
Congrats on that, by the way, you guys. That is amazing. Both our shows are up for different awards this year, so we can, as we said, we can fully support each other in this.
Right.
Heck yeah.
And speaking of which, congratulations to you guys. You're nominated for the People's Choice Podcast Awards in the, I guess, TV and film category, right? Or entertainment? Entertainment.
TV and film. TV and film.
TV and film. Yep. So that's awesome, and that's one of the ones where people can go vote for you guys. When does the voting start?
It is open right now, and I think it goes until June 12th. So you can vote every day. And if anyone wants to, that would be super cool.
Yeah, I encourage you guys to support Chris and Jason in that. And it's, what is it, podcastawards.com or?
That's right, podcastawards.com.
Yep. Yeah. And vote for those guys every day.
Thanks, man.
Go, Chris and Jason.
All right, that is our show, episode 222. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
And thanks to Chris and Jason. Totally appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yeah. It's so much fun. Thanks for having us on.
You guys are
absolutely great. If you guys listening want to call us, you can call us at 650-485-DEAD. That's 650-485-3323.
You can email us at brains@podcastica.com.
You can find us on the web at podcastica.com or facebook.com/deadcast. I highly recommend you guys who haven't gone on to Facebook and chatted with us to go on there because it's a lot of fun to talk back and forth about the week's episode and stuff like that. In a couple of weeks, Karen and I will be back to talk about Ride with Norman Reedus, which premieres on June 12th. And we'll talk about